Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. I was very keen to have this debate in Parliament because over the years I've met many carers through community groups, through campaigns, but crucially through my casework. And our carers are our unsung heroes. Around 660,000 unpaid carers in Scotland. That's nearly 1 in 8 people in Scotland. And the Scottish economy is saved around £7.6 billion a year by the work that they do for us. Locally in the Lothians, there are 71,000 carers, and in Edinburgh, there are over 8,000 people who care for 50 hours or more a week. And it's been estimated that in Edinburgh alone, if we didn't have that work done by those carers, there would be a cost to the public purse of £554 million. But carers are important, as I'm sure everyone will agree, not just because of the money. Carers UK puts it superbly. The true value of the care and support provided by carers cannot be quantified, as caring is also an expression of love, respect, duty and affection for another person. However, it is important to recognise the true scale of carer support provided to frail, disabled and ill people. And one of the things that does keep going the carers that I know is that there simply aren't better alternatives for the people that they care for. But I think we need to put on the record that there is a price that many carers pay themselves. Their health can be affected, it can be an isolating experience, the physical hard work can take its toll. And I know carers who've come to my surgery whose decision to look after somebody for a long period of time has actually affected them personally. A key worry for many of them is who will look after the person they support if they themselves are ill. And that worry in itself can be deeply stressful. And I'm told that those providing in excess of 50 hours a week are twice as likely to be permanently sick or disabled than non-carers. So that's something we need to think about. Shockingly, around 40% of carers haven't had a break of more than 2 days from their caring responsibilities. And I know from speaking to local constituents how hard it is to get respite of any sort. The other major pressure on carers is clearly financial issues. More than 50% of uncared carers are in debt, half of them cut back on food to make ends meet, and 79% struggle to pay their utility bills. That is up from 32% in 2007. I suppose it's not telling us anything we don't know about fuel poverty, but it's a crucial issue for people. Then there's also the fact that they may take extra costs that need to be accounted for. Caring for someone is also very rarely a short-term commitment. 2/3 of carers have cared for someone for more than 15 years, and women are in particular likely to give up their work to look after somebody. And I'll bet everyone in this chamber will have a friend or a family member who's put in that kind of decision themselves, who's had to take that tough decision. And many people put their jobs on hold in the hope that they can come back to it. But without reliable or flexible care services, that's a very difficult thing to do. And the inability to work isn't just about the money, of course, it's also about the lack of social networks and the support that you can get when you're in work. So without proper support, there is a problem that many people who are carers actually become vulnerable or need support themselves. And I think as a Parliament we need to debate this issue. Over time, we know that we will have more and more people who are living longer, both people who care for people and people who need care. And that means there's a long-term challenge for us, and we need to do what more we can do to make people's lives easier. On the 27th of May, we had a fantastic lobby from carers across Scotland wanting to lobby us for change. And we know from the recent work that was done by the Social Work Inspection Agency that carers themselves report a number of key issues that would make their lives more bearable and make their lives easier. The right to respite care is a key issue. I know it's something the SNP supported in their manifesto, the right to an annual opportunity for respite care, so I'd be keen to know from the Minister what progress she's making with that commitment. The right to training and education on the issues related to their role, capable of being delivered on the progress already being made, I believe. The right to emotional and therapeutic counselling and social support, crucial to enable people to have the confidence and personal support to let them keep going when it's going to be for a long time. And the right to advocacy, and this is something that comes through in my casework. If you're a carer, then you need support. It's one of the hardest jobs there is, a constant struggle, and getting both your rights and the person you care for rights met is crucial. The bureaucracy you have to deal with, the paperwork for appeals, the negotiations with social workers, the health services and council departments over housing. All these issues need to be done with support. And for many carers, far too many of them don't get the support they need because the hassle of lobbying everyone they need to lobby is simply too much. And just caring for somebody is a job in itself. And for my mailbag, that job's not getting easier and the situation's getting worse. I know in Edinburgh many people are struggling as the hours for support, caring support are being cut. That directly affects people's quality of life. Even getting assessed can take far too long. And carers in Scotland, yes, I'd be happy to take an intervention.
Margaret MacDonald.
I wonder if the member would agree with me that what she has said there is an indication as to why so many carers find themselves in the position they're in. And that is that for people who haven't been carers, they don't really know when they start slipping into that category, and they don't describe themselves as carers and they don't recognise it in other people. So therefore a government information campaign is needed.
I think that's a very telling point, and it's made very well by Margaret MacDonald. I hope the Minister will pick that up in her reply. It's the point I made earlier. Many people care. What was it I said, over 2/3 for 15 years or more? That's not necessarily the plan when you start out, but once you've made that commitment to a person, very few people would want to step back from that. So yes, people also don't think of themselves as unpaid carers. They just think that they're supporting a member of the family. So more support and more information could be very helpful. A key issue would be looking at the issue of direct payments. My understanding is that in England and Wales, carers are able to use direct support to give flexibility in terms of what kind of support the person they look after is given. But in Scotland, many care packages put together by local authorities only operate within business hours, again stopping people having any chance to work whatsoever. So there's more support needed, more information needed. Then there's cuts in social services, which I suspect all of us will be aware about, and it's certainly a major problem for us in Edinburgh. If carers were normal workers, and there are apparently Scottish Government documents list carer support under workforce headings, they'd have maximum working hours, access to training, tea breaks, holidays, the ability to stop work when they're ill, someone to look out for their rights, but they don't have those rights. And although we've got some fantastic carers groups such as Vocal and the Lothians, carers need more support. And they need the support from us. Where are the guaranteed annual entitlement breaks for caring for those who are greatest in need that the SNP promised by 2011? Carers of all ages face challenges. Respite care is an issue not just for older people, but for young carers as well. And young carers are often isolated at school and more often suffer from some form of stigma, and it can impact on their own personal development as a young person. There's mental and physical stress. It might even be tougher to get into further or higher education. So there's a lot of issues that need to be moved at. At the end of the day, where we need to be is it's not just about recognising the problems carers have. We have to move from talking about carers' rights to delivering them, from recognition to rights. I thank colleagues for showing their support by turning up tonight. I ask the Minister to set out what more can be done to put in a carers strategy that will make the difference that the hard-pressed carers I suspect all of us have worked with and know from campaigning know needs to be put in place. I hope we can make the difference for those hard-pressed carers to give them the support they and the people they care for so desperately need.